Live in 18 minutes. Oh, did I goof on that or something?
We're live. Been live for 25 seconds.
Yeah. Well, I know that, but on my screen, it's not showing up as me being on here. Just saying live in 18 minutes. I'm going, what?
No. We're live now. I'm watching it. Hi, everybody.
All right. I just, for whatever reason, it was saying, because I had it on, I don't know if something happened but it was saying live in 18 minutes. I'm going, what? Live in 18 minutes? No, we're starting now. So, anyways, yeah. Okay. Hello?
Hello. I'm here.
I know. I thought I heard an echo there. That's why I was doing that. Anyways, and we've already done the sound check and everything seems fine. So, anyways, hello everybody. Welcome to the Mikestand. It's Friday, so that means for those of you who are here, first off, you guys can help out by liking and sharing the stream. See if we can get some more friendly people in here to engage. Also, if anything we talk about tonight grabs your attention, feel free to comment and or ask questions. We'll try to answer the questions to the best of our ability. As it is Friday, our weekly look back in time to comics history. We're in the midst of focusing on books that went on sale in March of 1940. I thought so. All right, I am hearing it. Somewhere there's an echo, but anyways.
Well, the only one that could echo to you is me. So let me pull my mic forward a little bit and see if that doesn't alleviate it some.
All right, let's try that now. So, anyways, hello?
Yes.
All right. So
I heard me.
Anyways, all right. So as I said, we're looking. It's Friday, so it's time to look back at comics history. We've been going over books that went on sale in March of 1940. This week, we will be looking at books that went on sale in March of 1940 from a company called Columbia Comic Publications. Now, as this is kind of a new, at least from our coverage point, this is kind of a newer book that we're going to start covering. We're going to be, of course, going over the history of the early history of the book of the company rather, and then we're going to talk a little bit about two of the key heroes of that line. And then we'll, of course, get into the reading. We'll be looking at, of course, among the features, we'll be looking at Big Shot Comics #1. We'll be looking at such features as Skyman in the Face and a few others. But before we do get started on all that, I'm going to hand it off to my good friend RJ Carter of Critical Blast to give him a chance to do an intro if he wants to, talk about any projects he's doing, promote any links.
Oh,
camera for a moment. I'm still listening, but I'm going to go off camera for a moment to take care of something real quick. So,
yes, well, at criticalblast.com, one-stop shop for everything we do, which includes the logistic business, where we distribute all the crowdfunded books that y'all are doing. We are in the middle of shipping out right now, Hunt the Littlest Umbrella Girl, and that is a massive project coming at us right as we are on the heels of The Exiled and Dish 2.5. So if you got either one of those, you haven't got your product yet, it's here. We're taking it as fast as we can, but those projects had a lot of moving parts in them. They're not just slap a book into a Gemini and out the door. We want to be careful with them. And then the other tab, of course, is the book side, the publishing side. And that is where you can find all the books we sell that we publish, including two that I just got in the mail today, which is the extraterrestrial, the aristocratic extraterrestrial time traveling thieves, which is a big chunky book from 1986. We collected the entire thing in one volume, also in a handy dandy digest manga size.
The artwork there on that book. Put it up again. Well, initially from when I was a little further away, now maybe not as much, but it initially was reminding me of like it was an anime feel type book, like maybe an anime style, but so it is manga style, black and white. Well,
very black and white, but this was 1986, so a lot of indie books were black and white in 1980s because it was cheaper to make.
Yeah. But anyways, so anything more you'd like to talk about?
Yes, but I'm going to mute my mic to do it because I have to go yell at the children. They just knocked something off the table. But I'll be in earshot while you lay the groundwork for the show.
You have children at your house right now? At your place?
Yeah, they're 4 months old right now, and they are trying to kill each other and knock things off the table.
4 months old. Okay, okay, hold on. Clarify. Are you talking about human children, or are you talking about like other things?
Fur babies.
Fur babies.
Yes.
Pets.
Yes. And they think they can climb on everything. Like I'm looking at one of them now who thinks she can do this. Schrodinger and Heisenberg are the two kittens. They're sisters. And
Schrodinger and Heisenberg, huh?
Yes, they need some discipline in the worst possible way. Get down.
Well, if you need to go take care of that real quick, why don't you go do that?
They're going to break glass very soon. I'm telling you. We'll hear the sound of a coffee pot shattering here. Because lay the groundwork for what we're doing tonight, and I'll still listen.
All right. And of course, comment if anything here I mention RJ. So we're gonna first out. Let me pull that screen up, so we have all that material ready to go. I can talk a little bit about. So of course, here is the name of the company, Columbia Comics. Actually, maybe what I can do, since I am just simply reading it, might as well just expand it. Well, maybe not. Okay, I'll just keep it like that. Okay, so Columbia Comics. So let's take a look at this. First, let's get some of the basics out of the way over in the box to the right here. Columbia Comics status defunct since 1949, founded in 1940. Founder was Vin Sullivan, who was a big name in the comic scene back there in the golden age. Of course, country of origin, United States. Headquarters located in New York City. It published comic books. Nonfiction topics were McNaught newspaper syndicate characters, fiction genres, superhero, adventure, humor. All right, so that's at least some of the basics. Now let's look at this main. Let's look at the background here. So, Columbia Comics Corporation was a comic book publisher active in the 1940s. It was formed in 1940 as a partnership between Vin Sullivan and McNaught Newspaper Syndicate to publish comic books featuring reprints of such McNaught comic strips as Joe Palooka, Charlie Chan, as well as original features. Now, of course, we've seen these features before in other comics. We've seen them I think still in some of the other like I do know they were featured a lot in feature comics for a while there. I don't know if by this point if they just moved over here to Big Shot from Quality's feature comics, and there have been a few others too. But let's as well as original features. Its first published title was the anthology title Big Shot Comics, which we're going to, of course, be looking at the first issue of tonight. The premiere of which introduced Skyman and the Face, Big Shot Comics would run for 104 issues until 1949 when Columbia went out of business. Other titles published by Columbia included spin-off series from Big Shot Comics featuring Skyman, 4 issues, and The Face. Comic creators who worked for Columbia included Fred Guarnier. Some of you may remember that name. He was, I think, one of the artists on Zatara, among other titles. On Marvello, the Monarch of Magicians. So Fred Guarnier, again, getting involved with a magician's comic. Ogden Whitney and Gardner Fox on Skyman. Let's see if RJ is back yet. No, I guess he's still dealing with the little kittens there.
I'm here.
Okay. Well, you're just not on camera, so I figured you were probably dealing with your kittens. Anyway, so now some of the titles for this line included, of course, the big one was Big Shot Comics. As I said, ran 104 issues from 1940 to 1949. Among some of the other issues that had a number of included Dixie Dugan had 13 issues in 1942. Mickey Finn, which had 11 issues in 1943. Sparky Watt, which had 10 issues from 1942 to 1949. Skyman had 4 issues, 1941, 42, 47, 48. Let's see. Joe Palooka had 4 issues in 1942. Face had 2 issues. So basically though, the big dog, the big one was of course Big Shot Comics. So now that we've of course done that part, let's see if let's talk a little bit about the two main heroes that came from this comic, Skyman and Skyman Columbia. Now the reason they say Columbia Comics here, of course, it's so. And it's a good thing I have you here, RJ, because you probably will know what I'm referring to here. Of course, in DC Comics, there's a character called the Star-Spangled Kid.
Yes, Sylvester Pemberton III.
Yes, Sylvester Pemberton III, who at one point in his career did take on the superhero name Skyman, not to be confused with this character from Columbia Comics. So just so people know that. So let's at least look a little bit here about, at least get some of the basics here. Let's see. I'm just looking at seeing how much of this I'm doing. Publication. So let's see. Publication history, Columbia Comics. Big Shot Comics #1 was his first appearance, which we're going to look at tonight. Created by Gardner Fox and Ogden Whitney. His alter ego was Alan Turner. Let's see. This article is, of course, we already mentioned that. So the Skyman is a fictional comic book superhero that appeared in the 1940s comics during what historians and fans call the golden age of comic books. Created by writer Gardner Fox and artist Ogden Whitney, the character first appeared in Columbia Comics omnibus title Big Shot Comics #1, May of 1940. Now that, of course, is the cover date. We talked about the differences between cover dates and on sale dates. We, of course, focus more on the actual on sale date here on when we do the history review, because that's, from what I had often theorized, that's when the comic is actually taking place. That's when the events of the comic are taking place, is during the on sale time, as opposed to the cover date. He is unrelated to the DC Comics character called simply Skyman, who originated All-American publication, Star-Spangled Kid. Of course, we've mentioned that already. So, anyways, let's take a quick peek at some of the other things here. Publication history: the Skyman was created by writer Gardner Fox and artist Ogden Whitney in the Columbia Comics omnibus title Big Shot Comics #1, May of 1940. After appearing in the first 8 issues of Big Shot, That character was spun off into his own series, in which one issue each appeared in 1941, 42, 47, and 48. The Skyman went on to appear in virtually every issue of Big Shot through issue number 101, May of 1949. The comic itself lasted only 3 more issues. The Skyman additionally appeared in a story in the Sparky Watts number 1, 1942. Now, I would guess, of course, here Skyman was if was their franchise player, right? He was their Superman, their Spider-Man, their Archie, right? And would you agree with that based on what we're reading?
Just without the longevity.
Yeah, without the longevity, but he was the lead feature basically.
Right.
Let's see. New Media Publishing reprinted a Skyman story in an unnumbered one-shot Golden Age of Comics special summer 1983. ACE Comics Return of the Skyman number 1, September 1987, reprinted his origin from the Skyman number 1, 1941, and published a new story written by Mort Todd and art by Spider-Man co-creator Steve Ditko. Original artist Ogden Whitney penciled and inked a new cover based on his cover for the Skyman number 1 from 1941. AC Comics ran reprints. Yeah, I mean, I don't think we need to learn all that. Yeah, the first half of it was probably interesting enough. Anyways, let's look quickly because usually I won't do the fictional character biographies because most of the time when we do have like I wouldn't read the whole bio, let's say for Superman or Batman, because first I'll mostly already know most of that. But since this is kind of more of an obscure character, as long as they're quickies like this, it's probably a little more necessary. The Skyman was Alan Turner, who was raised by his uncle to become, quote, outstanding in mind and body. Sound familiar, RJ?
Yep. We've heard that origin story many times.
Yeah, many times around this period. In fact, I know of another character you and I have read from Harvey Comics. Well, what was at the time known as Worth Carnahan. Do you know what I'm talking about?
No.
The Champ.
Okay. Yes, the Champ. He had no superpowers. He just.
Well, yeah, but the Champ, similarly to Skyman here, was somebody who was raised to be of strong mind and body, basically. Same kind of scenario here. A brilliant scientist, he had no superpowers, but did have a flying wing-shaped airplane dubbed the Wing. That's original.
Yes. A lot of thought went into that. He's a real smart one.
That flew by the power of the Earth's magnetic poles. With this and money inherited from his late uncle's will, he fought crime. So another Playboy adventure, basically. We've seen plenty of those too, haven't we?
Yeah, that's what happens when you get too much money in comics. You either fight crime or you make crime.
Yeah.
You're bored.
You either fight crime feeling it's your civic duty to do so, or you commit crimes just out of sheer boredom because you're so wealthy you have no want.
Yeah. Outside of Bruce Wayne, none of these other guys did it for civic duty. They did it for the adventure. They were bored.
Yeah. So Wesley Dodds, Lee Travis.
Yeah. They had too much money to know what to do with, so they just said, you know what? That sounds like fun. Let's go out and beat up some people.
Tex Thompson, Barry O'Neill, Brian O'Brien.
People who deserve it.
Yeah. All right. So that's the Skyman. So now we have one other intro that we, of course, want to do here, which is as soon as I get back to that, the Face. Now, the Face is a pretty generic comic book term. Of course, in this case, among the many people who've gone by the name of the Face, this one is the Columbia Comics hero, not to be confused with, like, for example, one of the early adversaries of the Sandman. Who one of the Sandman's earlier foes was called the Face as well. So let's look at the Face from Columbia Comics, and look at that right there.
That's the Yellow Claw.
Yeah. Well, that one is from a later thing that they talked about here. But anyways, the Face is a fictional character, a comic book superhero that appeared in 1940s comics during what historians and fans have called the golden age of comic books. He was created by artist Mart Bailey and an unknown writer. Now we'll quickly look in the box here. Columbia Comics. First appearance, of course, Big Shot Comics #1, created by Mart Bailey. Alter ego is Tony Trent. Abilities, his original abilities were none. Currently causes terrifying hallucinations via his mask. So that's, again, this is one of those stories that had gone into public domain, but then got bought up again by a company who tried to bring these characters back, something similar like what Malibu did with a lot of the like Centaur characters. But anyways, let's look at least some of this part here. The Face first appeared in Columbia Comics Omnibus title Big Shot Comics #1 and continued until issue number 62. So not as long as Skyman, but still pretty lengthy. January 1946. From issue 63, the feature continued as Tony Trent until Big Shot number 104. So he switched over his real name. The first issue of the series, the final issue of the series, apart from appearing in Big Shot, the Face also had 2 issues of his own title, 1941-1942, as well as 2 as Tony Trent in 1948. In the 1980s, new stories were published by Ron Francis Ace Comics. 3 issues of What Is the Face were published. And then the project passing into public domain, the Face was revived for the 2008 limited series Project Superpowers, published by Dynamite Entertainment. So, and the part of the fiction, we're just going to focus here on in terms of the fictional, but on the first part there. We're not going to look at the Project Superpowers version right now because we're far from that. So, fictional biography. The Face is radio announcer Tony Trent. Kind of reminds me of another character that we'll see a little later in feature comics, The Voice. Also, I think Midnight from Quality Comics as well kind of falls into that same kind of category too. Who decides to fight crime after having witnessed a murder committed by gangsters disguised as cops. Having no innate superpowers, he instead uses a frightful mask to scare criminals, not unlike Batman. With issue number 63, he no longer wears the mask and fights crime as himself. All right, so those are the 2 characters then, the 2 main characters. And we will, of course, as I said, depending upon how much time we spend, I have 6 ultimately planned. We probably will get most likely through at least 4 of them, if not 5 or even all 6. But we'll wait and see. So now with all that, let me go ahead and get us to the next part, which is the reading part. And I know you usually do, so I'll ask anyways. You want to join in on the reading tonight, RJ?
Always. It's why I'm here.
Yeah. All right. So let's see. Oh, that's the anime one. So now I'm going with this, even though the other site does have it, but the only problem is the first page that they have is scanned in black and white, so a little harder to read. So. And I'll let you, of course, do the narration, and we'll figure out the other parts as we go along.
All right. Catch up on the big screen.
All right.
I've locked one of the troublemakers in my bedroom so she can quit running around trying to knock wine glasses off the shelf now. We're going to have a talk, she and I.
And I'm sure she's meowing as we speak.
Oh yeah, but she's muffled.
Sitting there at the bedroom door, meowing, meow, meow, meow.
Yeah.
Look at that, May 1940, big shot. Look at it. Even had the guns there, the Gatling guns right there. I believe is what those are called. Number 1, 10 cents, as all comics were back then. America's finest comic features: Charlie Chan, Joe Palooka, Marvello, The Bungles, Spy Master.
Now, for not staying around that long, they had some high quality names here. Charlie Chan and Joe Palooka are still known today.
Well, yeah. Well, here's the thing too, and I don't know if you caught the first part of the intro when I was reading the history of the early history of Columbia Comics. This company was started up as a partnership between Vin Sullivan and McNaught Comic Syndicate, right?
Yes.
McNaught, which of course was there was the syndicate that had like Joe Palooka, Charlie Chan, Mickey Finn, Dixie Dugan. One of the things I mentioned was these features were previously featured in Quality Comics, Feature Comics. I don't know if they still are or if they have moved over here per se, but a number of these particular reprinted features would move around quite a bit. You want to read that right there?
Uses a swell guy, Skyman, to save Dixie Dugan from those kidnappers.
And there's Skyman right there.
Why is he called Skyman? Because he comes from the sky.
Yeah. And I like this. I like this right here. You notice how they're having the characters interact with each other?
Yeah, you hardly see that.
Back in these days, anyways. I mean, well, you saw it more with the McNaught characters, because I know they did it a bit before Quality started adding in like Dollman and some of the other characters into the feature comics. You'd see like there were times when you'd have like Mickey Finn interacting like with the clock or whatever in that book. So starting this issue, well, here, I'll let you read that part because you're the narrator this week.
Starting this issue, the outstanding comic character of the year, the Skyman.
Alrighty then. So let's click on. I'll let you read. You ready?
I'm ready. The Skyman by Paul Dean. Out of the air in the spring of 1940 swoops a strange plane, fleet as the wind it rides, piloted by a master airman known only as the Skyman. Over the cotton plantations of Virginia, the plane appears like a fabled black thunderbird.
What in the is that? What in the is that strange looking plane chasing me? He's getting closer. Hey, watch out, you.
My screen is big. I've got to traverse the entire real estate now to read it. The mysterious pilot fires a bolt from his Stasismatic and paralyzes the pilot. The queer plane lands, and from its cabin leaps a strange figure, the Skyman.
You want to do the Skyman? Since I did the other day.
A briefcase hidden behind the instrument board. So, the
Papers contain lists of sabotage plots in detail against the government to get us into war.
And of
We
course,
weren't there yet.
that was a common theme back. That was somewhat of a common thing. We've talked, as we've been getting into 1940 and so we've been talking more and more about this, how there's been kind of the idea where some of the people in America wanted to go and fight, in World War II and fight Adolf Hitler, the Jewish community, while most of America still wanted to just stay out of it, wanted to stay isolationist.
And a large part of the Jewish community was making comic books.
Yeah. So this page right here and on the other set was in like black and white. That's why I want this one. I know you like the other one. I kind of like the other one too because you have to keep going back up and forth and like that. But anyways,
this is only the beginning. I'll round up the entire gang with a little luck. The Skyman prepares to bail out his captive. This ought to keep you alive when I toss you out. Over the naval base at Pensacola, Florida. So long, wise guy. You'll be alive when you land. The Skyman pulls the ripcord, and his captive floats earthward.
Another visit from the Skyman. No one knows who he is, but he's sure rounding up these sabotage agents when the government couldn't do it. Ye
Goats.
Oh, ye goats ye goats of Hades.
There's a new one on me.
Huh? Ye goats of Hades. Huh? What?
That's a new one. I've never heard that one before.
Ye goats of Hades?
Yeah.
Well, in some circles, in some demonic circles, there are certain demons that do have horns like that.
I know.
Like ram's horns or goat horns. So, yeah. Ye goats
Great
of
Caesar's ghost, Great Scott. I've never heard ye goats of Hades.
Yeah. Ye goats of Hades. Look, the entire plot of these sabotage agents, navies, places, dates. Wow. Adieu, Skyman. Who is that guy? He can fly like an eagle. The Skyman. Lucky for the USA, he's helping us.
And aboard the Fleet Wing, the Skyman prepares for more action. I landed that plane because I was suspicious of its daily trips to Cuba. Now for the man who's been sending those radio calls.
What, we were suspicious of Cuba in the 40s? Come on.
Well, I could understand why. I mean, Cuba is not that far off the American coast there. I mean, it's coming up so it would be kind of a nice little good nice little launching spot if they were going to try to do something. So it's not that unfathomable. But anyways,
it is night over New York City when the Skyman arrives. That looks like the place where those radio messages come from. I'll fix the robot controls and descend to the roof.
And for those of you who may be in the chat, as a reminder, as I said, if you guys can help us out by liking and sharing the stream, see if we can get some more friendly people in here to engage. That'd be appreciated. Also, if anything here grabs your attention, feel free to comment and or ask questions. We'll try to answer the questions to the best of our ability. So, with that, continuing on.
By an amazing scientific device known only to himself, the Skyman causes his plane to remain suspended above the house, which we call hovering, and swings downward by rope, and drops lightly to the roof. My special radio equipment picked up the calls as coming from this apartment house.
So that scientific knowledge coming to fruition here, huh?
Yeah, we call that a helicopter.
Yeah.
Over the edge and along the sheer side of the building goes the Skyman. Please let Jerry Lewis poke his head out the window. Please let Jerry Lewis poke his head out the window. I've got to hear his voice to make certain he is the one sending those radio messages.
Yeah. The way they do that bubble right there, that I would think that'd be more of a thought bubble than a dialogue bubble. Because they got the little dashes in there instead of just straight lines.
Yeah, I think that's just meant to be a whisper.
Huh.
He's talking low to himself, but we have a microphone and that will pick it up.
Yeah.
Opening the window, the Skyman listens in on the conversation. He's the one, all right. I couldn't mistake that nasal twang of his. Easy does it, friends. Don't talk or you'll get a shot of my stasismatic.
Say, you cheap crook, you can't pull.
I'm thinking he can. I said don't speak. I was just about to say I said no talking, and that was exactly what they wrote.
Oh, you killed him. You killed him.
I don't think you're in on this, but I'm making sure. You won't die. Your blood circulation is temporarily suspended. That's called dying.
Well, his intention may have been to knock her out.
Did he shoot her?
Well, shooting her with some kind of device that would probably would stop the blood circulation for a moment. Yeah. It's based on what he said. It sounds kind of more like what you might have if, let's say, somebody was to apply a carotid artery hold on you.
Yeah, he's
you know what a carotid artery hold is, right?
Oh yeah. He put a sleeper on.
Yeah.
The Skyman ransacks the apartment. Not a shred of evidence, unless that panel board. Clever of them. Same piece of panel board in plane and radio. Never think of looking in the same place.
Almost a little too simple, if you ask me.
Yeah.
Because yeah. Well, what do you think the likelihood that somebody would figure that out? Pretty quickly. If they look kind of the same.
Sure. Well, it's the theory that hey, they hid it behind the panel on the plane. They wouldn't do it twice. They're not that stupid. Yes, they are.
Well, I know we know from the Batman stories that we know that criminals are a superstitious and cowardly lot. But I think what we've also found over the years from our readings of comics and watching of cartoons, criminals not only are a superstitious and cowardly lot, but oftentimes they're a lot of the more small timers, anyways, are also a pretty stupid lot as well.
They're not bright,
huh?
They're not the brightest. A voice sounds from out of the ether.
And that's a radio voice. I'm going to let you do that as well.
Dawes, the red signet is calling. Answer me. Uh-oh, trouble ahead. The Skyman imitates the twang of Dawes. Right. I'll be there directly. That was close. I'll take these papers along. It's a cinch they'll convict Dawes. You'll come to in an hour. If you're in on this, you may lead me to the red signet.
The red signet. Who do you think that might be?
I don't know, but I bet he wears a red signet.
Could it possibly be he's a mastermind of all this? Could it be that he's the arch villain in this story?
I hope so. But if he wears a green cravat and not a red signet, he's lying to everybody.
He's either lying or he's delusional. Or to quote Megatron in an episode of Transformers, the G1 Transformers, when addressing Starscream, you're either lying or you're stupid.
Yes. It could be both.
Yeah.
I'll have to give the wing the gun to get back here in time. Roaring through the air at an incredible speed rockets the wing. A Coast Guard field 30 minutes from New York. The Skyman sends up a flare.
Yeah. All of the sabotage plans and addresses in New York. And this guy is one of the ringleaders.
Back to New York goes the Skyman. If I can only get the red signet, I think I'll break this sabotage plot wider than the Grand Canyon. She may still be here. In that case, I'll follow her. She's gone. Guess I won't. I'll have to pick up her trail in the wing. I think she'll head for the real sabotage leader, the Red Signet. Over deserted streets and byways races the wing. On a highway on Long Island.
I've got to warn the Red Signet.
You know, there was a radio back at the house.
Could have used.
Yeah,
Apparently he's on the other end.
RJ, I don't know if how many of the shows you've been watching. I know you've been busy. Maybe you haven't been watching them live, but I don't know if you've had a chance to go back and watch some of the shows, some of the episodes of the historical comic retrospect. But we've been finding that a lot. We've been finding at this point in time, and people have often argued, could this be part of the reason why some of these companies didn't last as long as, let's say, DC or Marvel or Archie or anything like that? Some of these leaps in logic and some of the storytelling aspects here, you know.
I mean, they could have at least shown Skyman smashing the radio after signing off with the Red Signet.
That'll keep him from calling back.
But no, we could have fixed everything.
That radio call for Dawes came from somewhere on Long Island. Perhaps if I follow the parkway. The wing soars over the black roadster.
All right, now here's hold on, RJ, hold on a sec, because I'm going back to that one right there. Another leap in logic I want to bring up here. How was he able to deduce from that little exchange on that radio that the call was from Long Island?
Because he's got a computer on the wing that told him the other call came from that apartment building. He covered that part.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess I forgot about that. But
so
he's got. Sometimes we see this stuff, and you know, it doesn't seem to make sense. But then you're right. He did mention some. I guess
he's got NSA level bugging equipment in 1940. Yeah, he's.
Yeah. All right, continue on.
That looks like the girl. I'll keep her in sight.
My, what a queer plane.
Far out on Long Island, the girl turns into a gravel driveway.
That was a trick. She snapped her fingers and poof.
The wing hovers above the big house. So that's the place. Well, here goes. The Skyman descends by rope to the rooftop below. This is the end of the trail, I'll bet. It won't be long now. I have a feeling that this is the Red Signet's lair. The Skyman swings out into empty space. This is what I call good, clean fun.
Yeah, good, clean fun. As we talked about earlier, a lot of these Playboy adventures did it for the thrill, right?
No, exactly.
He drops and takes another grip. Phew, that was plenty close. Whee! A room with maps and pins in them to show future sabotage attacks on shipyards, railroad terminals.
Wait a second, you just took a leap in logic there. It could just be a map with all the Hardys marked out for our road trip.
Yeah.
And airline ports, all set for one roaring day of destruction. What rat's nest this is. The Red Signet won't send any messages for help while I'm here.
So he apparently sabotaged the radio there.
Yeah.
I've fixed the radio so he won't notice it's broken until he tries to use it. And now for the Red Signet. The Skyman arrives at his goal.
And I came right out as soon as I recovered. Let's see. I've heard of this Skyman, but he's done me a good turn. I was getting leery of Dawes. He was turning to utterly
jittery.
He was turning too jittery to be of much further use. Why not radio your men to get into instant action? How am I doing with the girl voice this week?
Oh, better actually.
Yeah, even Apex pointed out to me that sometimes in my attempts to do as good a job as possible, maybe I do a little too much in terms of all the prepping and preening. You get what I'm talking about?
Just dive into it.
Yeah. Oh, not a bad idea. I'll get the plan started. I sent them out by plane, but something must have happened to the pilot.
The Skyman happened to be the pilot. The Skyman happened to the pilot. And when the Red Signet leaves the room.
So okay, hold on. Before you continue, let me go. So that's the Red Signet right there.
Yes. That's what we're being told.
Huh?
That's what we're being told. He wears nothing red, and there's no signet.
Yeah. I was waiting to see if you were going to say something about that, because I noticed that too.
Why didn't they call him the Purple Tuxedo? I don't know.
Well, for all we know, maybe as part of his plots, maybe he sends out some kind of calling card with a red signet on the calling card.
Maybe.
Anyways,
and when the Red Signet leaves the room, now that I know you are in on this deal, you're coming with me too.
Not again. How many times can you shoot somebody with that thing?
Well, at least it's not fatal, or
yeah.
I guess. Well, at least he can make it to where it's not. I mean, I don't know if it was fatal for Dawes.
I feel like Agent J in Men in Black. How many times have you flashy thinged me?
Hey, going on.
But first, I have something to tend to. The Red Signet, in his excitement, fails to see that his radio sending set does not work.
Calling X2R, calling X2R, calling Z33, calling Z33.
The alert Skyman jots down all the radio stations. I've got them all. Now the time has come for the Red Signet.
Calling Z33, calling Z33, calling H!
At last, the ringleaders of the sabotage plots. And all about me, proof of their guilt. Interesting reading for the Army and Navy officials. Exhibit 1.
Look at this. Look at this. I'm sure this is probably something that Wortham would have probably been like looking at and like scrutinizing right there. got the man and the girl tied together like that.
Yeah. Well, he could have flipped one of them over, and then it would have really been
Yeah, no kidding.
Exhibit 1, the red signet. Exhibit 2, the girl who we didn't bother giving a name, the unsuspected go-between. The next to last step, carting away the exhibits. These maps and papers will be proof enough to convince a doubting Thomas, because nobody else could have written them. As dawn breaks through the clouds, the wing starts the long journey toward Pensacola. 3 hours later, over Pensacola, the last step.
And again, he just tosses them out in his plane with parachutes.
Yes, but there it is, in his hand. The red signet ring. Well, it'll make a nice souvenir to add to my collection. There was a red signet. We just never saw it until now. That's like the editor got to the last page with the parachute. He's like, why were we calling him the red signet? Hang on, I got one more panel to draw. Who is the Skyman? Why does he aid the cause of justice against treachery? Answers to these questions in a new Skyman adventure next month. Don't miss it!
And then you want to read the bottom right there?
Follow the sensational exploits of the Skyman each and every month in Big Shot Comics.
All right. So before we continue on, let's see. Well, I'm going to need to step away from the computer for a moment. So have you talk to the chat or promote anything, for just a moment while I'm away. But before we do that, I want to ask you, of course, a couple of questions. What were your overall impressions of the story here?
Very simply told, but I like that sometimes. Yeah. He's a guy with a plane and a rope, sometimes, and a ray gun, and a computer that tracks down radio signals, and and flies over military bases without getting shot down, and just drops people off with pieces of paper that are taken as proof. Okay, I'm talking myself out of this one, but I liked it as a comic book.
Yeah. Well, good for the time, too. It's a pretty simple story.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to go. There's the Joe Palooka, and here's the face, but we'll start that when I come back. Look at the face right there. Anyways, I do need to step away from the computer for a moment. So, RJ, if you want to, I don't know, promote anything, talk to, I know there's nobody else in the chat, but talk to it as if there were. You kind of get what I'm saying, right? I'll be right back.
Okay, well, this squirmy little thing right here, this is Schrodinger. And Schrodinger and Heisenberg are two sisters who, hi. I never know what they're doing until I go observe their behavior. And as soon as I observe their behavior, they change their behavior. So now she's run off. But with her sister locked away, they get into less trouble. When they're both together, they're tornado twins. Much like the children of Barry Allen, who applied for membership in the Legion of Superheroes. And one of whom was the mother to Bart Allen, whom we know as Impulse. There's my obscure comic book trivia, the lineage of Barry Allen. And DC even went so far as to explain why the children of Barry Allen existed 1,000 years in the future when they closed out the Flash comic book and should have left it closed. Oh well, there's that. Wow, this guy looks like Mr. Hyde became a superhero. It's a really gruesome mask. Pretty good job drawing it. That would pass muster today, I would think. We had another book come in the mail today, and I'll show that one off here. This is the 5x8 version of the reimagined adventures of A.B. Frost's Bull Calf. Now, all of these, A.B. Frost was an American illustrator. He did some humor books and some outdoors books. And what we did here was we took all these public domain illustrations and we rearranged them and we retold the story in a way that was a little bit more parodic and satirical. It's just jokes following jokes following jokes. I mean, come on, we have a baboon who's a professor smoking a cigarette and talking about philosophy. So, yeah, and it's a narrative. This one is by me and George Peter Gatzis. Like, I had to look at the cover to see who did this. So yeah, if you're again looking for new graphic novels that aren't crowdfunded, you don't have to wait for them. You don't have to hope for them. Just go to Critical Blast and hit the bookshelf. You will find graphic novels and the buy now buttons. They already exist. They're physically in production. You hit a buy button, you're going to get a book, not a hope, not a wish, not a possibility. You're going to get a book. Imagine that. It's amazing. It boggles the mind that this could happen. So do that. Go to criticalblast.com. Right up at the top, you'll see publishing. Don't click there unless you're a writer and you want to submit to the next anthology we're doing. But 2 clicks over from there, you'll see bookstore. Click on that. You'll see every single book we've made in every single format. We do hardcover, we do softcover, we do digest. We're doing manga size now. So the digest, that's this. Okay, so this is like a 5x8, which is your normal miniature trade paperback. This is a 5x7. It's just an inch shorter, but its dimensions are more in line with a manga, and it's also more in line with the dimensions of a standard comic page. So there's less that has to be adjusted to make it fit. Lots of pages in this book, folks. This is 380 pages of comic book storytelling. So get in on it.
Sorry, I didn't know you were gonna show
I'm done.
The book again, or I would have.
I didn't know either, but I just had to do something.
All right. So now the rest of these stories, I think that one was the longest. That was probably a typical 12 to 13 page or so, or maybe slightly less. But I think from this point on, all the other stories are going to be like 6 to 8 pages. So we'll see how we're already coming up on the hour mark here. We'll see how many more of these we can get through. But we're going to definitely try to get to this one. So here we go. So are you ready, RJ?
Almost. Scream. Go ahead and scream.
Go ahead. Scream. What do you mean?
Her dialogue. She's screaming.
Oh. Okay. Ah!
Grim and fantastic, composed of the stuff of tortured nightmares, weird and gruesome.
You weren't going to read the title or the author there?
Nah, skipped it already. I'm into my Boris Karloff voice now. Can't go back.
Right.
Who is he? All the underworld would like to know. Is he a criminal? All the law enforcing agencies think so, but they lack proof. He comes and goes, grinning an eternal grin, like a nameless shadow, silent and mysterious.
I'll let you do the main character here again. I'll let you do the hero this time here.
Okay.
Be fainted. Well, my face isn't any pleasant thing. Ah, her handbag.
Seizing the woman's handbag, the face prepares for a quick exit.
Now to make a getaway before Melissa Sanders recovers. I think the information I want is in her bag.
And drops lightly to the ground near his powerful roadster.
You doing that? Who are you saying you're trying to do there?
Boris Karloff.
Now maybe because I watched a lot of because they were already in syndication when I was a kid, but your take reminds me more of the Frankenstein character from Groovy Ghoulies.
Yeah, well, that's who they were imitating, was Boris Karloff, as the voice as he was voiced in a Mad Monster Party. Seated in his car, the face fumbles at the base of his neck.
This rubber mask was made especially for my face. Every curve and bump of my head is followed. and lifts off a rubberoid mask so that it fits my features exactly. The man who made it for me died. Convenient plot point. So none can trace
What was that, RJ?
Convenient plot point. The man who made this a very explicit mask for me died.
Well, again, though, that's a plot point that we've seen in a number of different stories. I know that was a kind of a plot point in like the Invisible Hood, Kent Thurston rather, who the inventor of that cloak passed away. I think the Question as well. The guy who created the Question's mask also like passed away, after he came up with that. So that does seem to be
what's not mentioned here. He killed him. I guarantee it. he said, "Make me this mask." Okay, thanks. Oh, you're dead. How'd that happen? The mask is so small and compact, it fits easily into a vest pocket. Those people passing by knew me for the Face. They'd tear me to pieces. I wonder if I'm late for the broadcast. Also, like the Question, he's in radio. At the radio station WBSC, owned by Tony Trent, the Face.
Tony Trent? You're late again. Hurry, you should be on the air. Oh, you're impossible.
Hello, Babs. My, what an efficient secretary. Okay, I'm ready. So the Face appears over the radio network. Wait, he appears over the radio network? That's a neat trick. That's called television.
Maybe because it's broadcasting, maybe that's just a term they adopted for.
Yeah.
Even if you don't have the visual there,
Yeah. So the Face appears over the radio network as Tony Trent, popular radio commentator. Hello, folks of America. This is Tony Trent of the airwaves coming to you. That food shortage in the city I was telling you about yesterday is no joke. Listen, I got hold of something. The bill of sale from a Western farmer to the city's crime chief, Grudge Grogan, for those turkeys that made the poor orphans asylum children sick this weekend. Oh, he's selling tainted meat. Ooh.
What was that?
He's selling tainted meat. How'd you like that, Babs? I told you I'd get the proof and the truth about those turkeys.
Tony, Grogan will get you for this. He'll kill you.
I'm going to pay a flying visit to the orphan asylum to check up on this poisoned turkey food.
Tony, be careful.
The Face arrives at the asylum. This is the orphan asylum. I'll check on the poisoned turkey meat first. He investigates the bad meat. This meat is rank. Grogan ought to be sent to jail for this. Wait, they knew it was poisoned turkey. They knew it was bad. They're keeping it in the refrigerator still. They didn't throw it out. This is like the sour milk that we put back in the door. Come on.
Yeah, you almost have to wonder if maybe those who are running the orphanage may be in on this too. Almost. What do you think? What do you think, RJ?
We'll find out in the turn of a page here.
Probably, right?
And looks in on the sick ward of the asylum. Poor little tykes, all sick. I'll see that Grogan pays for this. It looks like he's getting ready to serve them up a plate.
I wouldn't be surprised considering how horrific that mask is. You'd almost get with a mask like that, you almost get the impression that maybe he'd probably want to try to force feed that bad turkey down Grogan's throat.
Well, here we might find out. At Grudge Grogan's sumptuous apartment.
When I made you my secretary, Melissa, I thought you were capable of taking care of yourself. It was the face, Grudge. It had. It was horrible. I fainted, and the face stole the bill of sale that I was going to destroy. Tony Trent broadcast about the bill of sale less than an hour ago. How did he know about it? Maybe Trent is. Eee!
Thump, thump, thump.
The apartment door had opened noiselessly, and the face suddenly appears like a terrible spectre.
Now that's a pretty good description right there, wouldn't you say?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, and so apropos too. He does look like a specter. The face, Gad, you're horrible.
Thanks. I see Melissa has fainted for the second time tonight. I want details.
Yep.
Oh boy.
These big tough men making women pass out twice or more in every story.
Yeah, well, could you imagine if SJW was reading this? They'd be aghast at this.
Yes.
I want details, Grogan. What are you doing with the money the taxpayers are giving for relief? The people on relief are getting only flour and apples.
Food, it's going for food, I tell you.
Flour and apples, you can make good pies. Come on. Behind the face, a door was pushed inward.
Oh, reinforcement, eh, Grogan? Sort of guilty conscience, haven't you?
Chief, Lord!
Sight of the hideous features of the face unnerves the gunman long enough for the face to be upon them.
Good thing to be ugly. Scares the other guys long enough for me to get the jump on him.
There's a
So apropos, considering with what we're talking about with Batman too, right?
Yes.
I ought to shoot you like the dog you are, Grogan, but I'm going to put you behind bars instead. You bought poisoned meat for the orphans. You give people on relief flour and apples, but you'll pay for it. I'm going to get proof of what I say. I think Melissa Sanders is the weak link in Grogan's chain. She'll talk, if I scare her enough.
You better keep her conscious, dude.
Yeah.
A face enters Melissa Saunders' apartment and hides behind a drape. Grogan's secretary enters her bedroom an hour later.
Oh, it's good to be home. What's that?
Don't fall over! Don't fall over!
Oh, yeah. Don't faint again. I beg you. I want some information about Grogan.
Go away, please. It's like she's horrified. It's almost like, you almost get the impression that she thinks he's gonna like do something real bad to her. Like he's gonna
Yeah.
I mean,
He's just ugly, lady. He's just ugly. Don't be so bigoted. Come on.
I'll go after you tell me what you know about Grogan's taking money from the poor.
Grogan buys cheap food with relief money and pockets a big part of it himself. He brought those cheap turkeys, which were poison turkeys to begin with, for the orphan asylum when all the kids took sick. He buys flour and apples for the poor instead of good foods. He He keeps the money.
Write your name under that confession I wrote out for you, and you'll never see me again. This confession of Melissa's ought to make Grogan talk.
Why? I think they call that signed under duress.
Yeah, but such things were not really. Remember this. You got to remember too. This is 1940. This is still 19 years before Miranda.
Oh yeah.
This is 1940. This is still 19 years before Miranda. The case of Miranda and the whole thing with Miranda rights.
I guess this face of mine is ugly enough to scare anyone, except Grogan, into talking. I'm bound for his place now.
But the face finds Grogan has flown the coop.
He knew I'd make Melissa talk, I guess. Is that a timetable on the floor?
Yes, because criminals are not only stupid, they're also messy. Drop stuff all the time.
Yeah.
You drop the most important piece of information all the time.
Parkside Railroad, eh? He's after that 908. There's just a chance to catch him.
All aboard!
I've got to get on that train. I've got to get Grogan before he gets out of the city's jurisdiction.
Wait, the city's jurisdiction? He just broke a local law? I've got this coming. In his anxiety to find Grogan, the face forgets he still wears his horrible mask.
Oh my goodness!
Oh my heavens! Oh, it's Frankenstein!
Hold on. The face has a thought bubble there.
Oh, darn it, I missed it. I read over it.
What a furor.
Do I get to do it again?
If you want, go for it.
Oh my heavens! Oh, it's Frankenstein!
Don't be alarmed. Is Grudge Grogan around?
Yowza! Down now! And let me out here.
I see him.
You know, it's funny. Okay. I know that this is considered, by today's standards, this is considered offensive. But that
why?
Guy looks,
according to the picture, that's a white man.
Though. That guy kind of looks white, though. He doesn't look black.
I was going to say, that's a white man in that picture. Come on.
But the way he's talking was the way blacks were thought to stereotypically talk back in that time period. It's kind of. But then again, it's New York City, so maybe
my accent for that is inspired by Mantan Moreland, who was a great actor, who starred in a lot of comedies, and he was often the comic relief in several of the Charlie Chan films when he played the character of Birmingham.
Birmingham. Did he happen to be a black character?
Yes, that's why I said the accent was inspired by that. He looked just like him.
Hello, Grogan.
The face. Gosh, it's awful. He's got a gun too. I got him. Shoot, you fools.
No, you don't, Grogan.
Oof.
I have no time to play gently. I'll blast you to perdition if you so much as move an eyelid. Now, clear out, both of you.
We'll get going, Face.
The Face jumps with Grogan from the moving train.
I've got to risk this leap.
He carries the racketeer to his car, then starts for the police.
Now for the nearest police station.
Grogan is turned over to the law.
This is Grudge Grogan, and this paper is his secretary's confession, implicating him with stealing relief funds. I think you'll know what to do with him.
Yeah. Sure. My gosh, where did you get that? Where did you get that face?
Latest word is that the face has exposed Grudge Grogan for the cheating racketeer he is, stealing poor people's relief money for himself. This is Tony Trent of WBSC. See you again next week.
Now, before you read the part of the look at the girl's face right there as she's looking
You
at
know
him.
what? She's still wearing that clown outfit too that she was wearing the day before.
Well, he's kind of wearing the same suit. It looks like too that he was wearing the.
Oh yeah, because we just draw him wearing the same stuff all the time. Tune in on WBSC for another face adventure next month with Tony Trent of the radio airwaves. The haunting figure of the face, scourge of the foes of justice, will thrill you every month in Big Shot Comics, which is what the BSC stands for in the radio station, W Big Shot Comics.
Kind of a nice little tie in there.
Yes, with an Easter egg.
Yeah. All right. So how did you like that? How did you like that story, Margie?
That's good. As it's a Batman story. Only he's a radio guy like Alan Scott was.
Yeah. And it's kind of funny how Alan Scott and Bruce Wayne were both based in Gotham City too, and this guy
yes, they never really play that up either.
New York, Gotham and New York kind of are linked in a way, but
yeah.
All right, so let's get into the next story then. Let me go down. I think next one I said was going to be Tom Carey, District Attorney. Of course, we got the Dixie Dugan stuff here. Reprints of some Big Shot stamps. Tom Carey. Okay, well, I'll let you read the narration there.
Oh, Western. Wait a second. Is it a Western?
No, I don't think so. It may look like, but I guess we'll find out when we read the story.
I saw the brown shirt and the 6-gun. I'm thinking Western, but no, it's a district attorney.
Well, because Tom Carey, district attorney. So, for all we know, maybe it could be a little bit of both. Could be a Western and a legal story.
Tom Carey, district attorney. A daring raid by the Weasel, notorious fur theft gang leader, fails because of an underworld leak to the office of Tom Carey, two-fisted district attorney, who fights with his men in the warehouse.
So there's some elements of Western-style writing going on there. All right, so they're surrendering, sir. I'll let you be the main character again here.
Okay, Mac. Take him to the headquarters. But I have a hunch the Weasel won't be among them. I've got to land him. He's been getting away with murder with these raids on these warehouses. Tom enters the slum district of the city. What's that? A man races into the street as though pursued by a host of evil spirits.
Help! Oh, help! You've got to save me, mister. You've got to.
All right, follow me. Get in that rear seat and keep quiet.
Okay, mister.
Let me just shove you in the car. There's free candy back there. Come on.
Oh, boy.
Around the corner and toward the DA's car come baying bloodhounds.
Wow. Literally bloodhounds in the middle of the city. And a guy with a cape. And just and having the same thought as myself, Tom says,
isn't it rather unusual to go racing through the city with a pack of bloodhounds?
Very unusual, but circumstances have you seen a running man tonight?
Outside of yourself, no, I said, lying. But would you care to take a look in my car?
If you will be so good.
The car is empty.
I see you have no one. I see you have no one with you. Yet my dog seemed to think my trail ends here. I shall meet you again, and next time it may be different.
Just as you said. Tom drives his car into the better sections of the city. Oh, a little bit of gentrification going on now. I guess I've gotten far enough in the bloodhounds now to make it safe for my friend. This is as good a place as any to have a chat. As the DA swings the lever to the rear seat begins to raise.
Ah, so that's what happened with him.
Apparently.
Had kind of a secret compartment under the seat there.
Yeah, with air holes. How do we know there were air holes?
Otherwise, it'd be a coffin, right?
Yes.
Yeah. This is a clever trick, especially since the air holes in the floor permit a man to breathe.
See? That's how we know there's air holes. He tells us.
I mean, you'd think he'd have to have them if he's going to hide people in there, because otherwise it becomes a coffin almost. I'm Davis, a police spy. I notified the police about a theft of a fur warehouse by the Weasel tonight.
The Weasel was that the man with the bloodhounds. Why didn't you tell me? I'm Tom Carey, district attorney. Well, you didn't ask, Tom. Waiting to hear no more, Tom drives toward the Weasel's hideout. How do you know where it is?
This way. Well, maybe the police spy is telling him.
That's what I'm thinking, yeah. But the Weasel is not idle, and a parked car lurches forward to ram the DA's car.
Look out! That's him. Give it to him.
There is a terrific crash in the dead of night. Come on, you rats. Get out of there. Don't fake. The Weasel sends a death car to clean up with barking Tommy guns.
Barking Tommy guns. That's a very interesting phrasing.
Yeah, very onomatopoetic. Phew. Things are getting mighty hot around here. The Weasel does his work well. The men who crashed into me have been shot, so they can't talk. Ali, a taxi. Ah, a taxi. I thought it was like, Ali, you know this Arabic driver? No, it's just not Ali. Taxi. Follow that car. I'm District Attorney Carey.
I got a wife and child. I
don't wanna. You're gaining. Keep up the good work. See, he's riding. Okay, he's doing a Doc Savage here. He's standing on the running board on the side of the car when they had running boards on the cars.
Yeah, I'm getting nearer to their bullets. That's got to be something for a family man to be dealing with.
The death car swings into the garage.
That guy behind us is nuts. Let's get in to see the Weasel. Well, you idiots, you've led him right to me, haven't you? He's alone, Weasel. We can rub him out. Just rub him out. Yeah, that shows how much brains you have. Oh, get away, you fool! Geez, boss, I get inside and leave Tom Carey to me. Right, boss. Like my thug voices.
Yeah. They were the thugs. They talk like that. Outside the garage. Police headquarters. Get a squad down to the garage at once. I've got to shoot this lock, though. Through. I've got to shoot this lock through. Gone, of course. I'll have to search the building to check any evidence they may have left. Don't worry. They left a ton.
If we know criminals,
it's all filed and labeled.
We know they're not only a superstitious and cowardly lot, but they're a stupid lot as well, right?
And
right,
messy. They probably put the evidence in little clear bags of evidence.
With labels on them. Yeah. This is Exhibit A. This will convict us for sure.
Yeah. Plans for sabotaging the plant. They're still here, firing at me with Tommy guns again. District Attorney Tom makes a sudden dash across the room. What's behind that door they're guarding? This door makes a handy retreat in case of need. And if they have anything hidden here, a safe with records in it. Yes! Oh boy, let me at him. Not put the weasel behind bars at last. Yes! It's the evidence safe! It's open! It's wide open! It's a safe! A combination
safe! What have we been saying about criminals at this point in time? They're a superstitious, cowardly, and stupid lot, right?
Unknown to Tom Carey, evil eyes peer at him through a wall peephole. That's a window! That's not a peephole, that's a window! You can see his face through it!
Okay, Warranty, let him go in a minute.
The bloodthirsty bloodhounds are to be let loose. One of the dogs slips his leash ahead of time. Okay, advance warning. The unexpected assault smashes the courageous DA against the desk, where his fingers fall on a knife-like letter opener, also known as a knife.
A knife-like letter opener.
Yes. They could have said letter opener and then let us figure out he's going to stab it. But when you say knife-like, that's telegraphing what's going to happen.
And of course, it looks like they have, actually. Look here.
It's exactly what you knew was going to happen as soon as they said knife-like. The desperately struggling DA plunges the knife downward into the snarling hound. They drew the cutest little puppy being stabbed. That's not a snarling bloodhound. There's no anger in that face. That's cuteness and innocence. And he just wants to lick you and love you. And you're going to stab him. You, DA.
Let them all go, you idiot. They'll tear them to pieces. Let's get out of here now.
Puppy abandoner.
What about the ledger books and the fur? The place will burn down in a few minutes due to my pouring kerosene on the furs. Everything will be destroyed, even the district attorney and the records. Gosh, you're smart, Weasel.
Okay.
Is he?
He's poured kerosene on all the furs. It's not just gonna burn itself. Who's gonna light the match? You guys laugh.
And apparently he's gonna leave the dogs there to die too, because
yes. Yes. Puppy killers, all of them, one and all. The
But the backing car of the Weasel runs smack into a police cordon.
Cops all around us. Shoot it out.
Yep, we're surrounded. Why not go out in a blaze of glory? The gangsters are rapidly machine gunned. Saw that coming.
District Attorney Carey's in here. I hope he's safe. Yeah, look, a fire.
That's because there was kerosene just laying around. We know it ignites on its own.
Or apparently that's what the author of the story thought, anyways.
Yeah. Oh, boys, you're just in time to carry out these ledgers. Proof of the Weasel's guilt. You don't have to take him to court anymore. They killed him. You don't need the evidence. He's dead. There's no trial.
Those dogs, weasels, bloodhounds. How'd you ever escape from them, sir?
Oh, God. When I killed the first dog, his blood spattered on me. The other dog smelled dog on me because of that, and no dog would think of touching me. Baloney!
I don't think it works quite like that.
No, it doesn't. That does not stop the dogs, and you don't need evidence. You can escape the fire. The criminal is dead. He's not going to be tried in memoriam. He's dead. Don't miss next month's issue. Tom Carey encounters and solves a baffling mystery that takes place in the hills of Tennessee, where hopefully things will make a lot more sense. Tom Carey, the two-fisted district attorney, battles crime and lawlessness in every issue of Big Shot Comics.
All right, so let me go get to the next story that
Wait.
we'll be going. Well, I just want to get there, and then I'll ask a question. Hold on. I mean, I just want to get there, but before we start reading the next story, of course, and I'm going to go off camera here for a moment to do a couple of things real quick here, make some lighting adjustments, all that. But I'm going to ask what I've asked the other 2 times as well. What did you think of the story? I'm going to go off camera here for a moment. But why don't you tell everybody what you thought of that story, of the Tom Carey story?
That one was utterly ridiculous. He's a district attorney. It's his city. I'm the district attorney of this city, and every crime that happens in this city, I try in this district court. Why is he going to Tennessee, where he has no jurisdiction whatsoever? I mean, the fact that they said he's going to Tennessee means that he's going to a state that's not the one he's currently in. We don't know which one it is, but they told us he's going to Tennessee, so we know he's going other. It's an other state. He would have no jurisdiction in that other state. For all we know, he would have no jurisdiction in another city, outside of wherever his district is. So whatever he does out there, he's got no jurisdiction. He's got no right to fight crime.
Well, here's another possible thought on that idea, on what you just mentioned, him going to like another state. Who says that he's all we see is Tom Carey, district attorney? Who's to say, what's to make us think that he's only a city or local district attorney? He could be a federal district attorney.
Could he? Is there such a thing?
I mean, there might be, because I don't. Well, maybe I think there might be, because there is like like even at the federal level they have the attorney general.
Well, yeah, because there are 94 districts that are. He is a federal district attorney, but he's the district attorney of his district.
I mean, I'm just throwing out possibilities there. As I said, it does seem like it's a bit of a logical leap there. So you do make a point there, RJ.
have nothing more to talk about.
I guess in about another 4 to 6 months, when we get back around to doing April of 1940, and we get the Big Shot Comics #2, we can find all that out. Of course, if you're not co-hosting with me on that night, you can always catch a show, to catch some of it, to keep up on what's going on. Anyways, yeah. Anyways, well, let's move on to the next story here. Now, something else I mentioned too earlier before you get started here reading the narration here. So you notice who wrote this story? Fred Guarnier, right?
Yes. We see him a lot.
Huh?
We see him a lot.
Well, here's the thing. So he's an artist on this story, which Marvello, Monarch of Magicians. I don't know if you remember this or not, but he's also the artist on another pretty much more famous magician. Do you know who I'm talking about?
Zatara.
Yep.
In fact, I'll bet if you were to take Zatara comics and Marvello comics and put them side by side, you'd probably find him swiping his own artwork a lot.
Well,
because Zatara did this whole la 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 move a lot too.
Well, let's find out. Go on with the narration there.
Gong. Marvello, Monarch of Magicians. Marvello, the monarch of all magicians, has thrown his darkly blazing eyes that gleam so hypnotically, his lean hands that move with such blinding speed, all of his concentrated force and will, into the eternal struggle between good and evil, fighting always for true justice. To America, land of the free, comes Marvello in search of adventure.
Oh, look at this now.
To America, land of the free, comes Marvello with his slave.
Yeah. Well, does this look familiar to you as well?
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway.
Oh yeah.
Hurry with those bags. A taxi.
Sorry, buddy. This cab's taken.
But no one is inside.
Grim-faced men shoulder the magician aside.
One side, guy. Scram. One side, scram. Oh, I see. Calora become pigs.
I'll play.
That's the taxi driver. I did him.
But at that moment...
All right, wise guy. Get into that taxi. But why? What have I done?
You wanted in the taxi in the first place. Now he's telling you to do it. Go. Get in. Under Marvello's influence, the taxi driver takes a hand. Leave my pal alone.
Ugh.
Alone in a strange land, Marvello finds a friend.
You want to do the cop there?
Come along with me, buddy.
Very well, but...
That was Big Shot Bonnet and his gunman you had a run-in with. He's just back from Europe and swears to boss the town. You better take a train for Chicago.
But do you let gunmen rule you here? Perhaps I may help somewhat.
Look, he's already started. He started already, shooting down his rival gangster.
I'll stop that.
Marvello gestures, and the supposed victim goes up in a puff of smoke.
Hey, he's burning up. I can't see him no more.
I'll stop him from shooting that man by immolating him. There, he can't shoot him now. I killed him with fire.
There's the guy who turned us into pigs. Let's give it to him. Calora cyclone appear.
A cyclone seizes the car of the gangsters
Saying what the?
and drops it across a skyscraper.
How did this happen? I never heard of cyclones in this city.
Well, you know, it's what
Cyclones
do.
usually
They pick
don't
up the
happen
thing
in
you're in.
cities, as far as I know, right?
Oh.
That ought to hold them for a while. I now tell me, how is it that your city is under a rule of terror?
Nobody's got the nerve to stop him. If you do, Big Shot sends a couple of gunmen around to see you.
Hint, hint.
Yeah. Marvello decides to use his great forces for the good of his fellow men.
Z, I'm going to be busy for a while. Go to the room you hired. Go to the room you hired. Find and await me. Yes, master.
And sets out in spirit to find Big Shot Bonnet.
By magnetism of spirit, I can feel that Big Shot isn't far away. I've decided that the U.S. Treasury would net me. Oh wait, I think I did. I have you do the bad guy this time,
Nope.
or
I didn't do anything but the taxi driver and the cop.
okay. I've decided that the U.S. Treasury would net me a good profit. Listen tonight at 9:00.
Yeah, it's never the local liquor store or the jewelry store on the corner. Think big. We're going after Fort Knox. We're going after the U.S. Treasury. We got a couple of guns. We're good.
The U.S. Treasury at 9:00 that night.
The secret of the whole thing is surprise.
I thought you were the gold shipment.
Sure you did. Now move back.
At which point the gunman should be thinking, wait, there's a gold shipment coming in? Okay, go in. We're going to wait. And that's exactly what he is doing.
That gold shipment ought to be here soon.
But the gold shipment has a sudden visitor.
Halt!
Run him down. He's probably trying to hold us up.
I like that driver. That driver's got the most sense of any character in any of these stories so far. He knows exactly what to do.
Yeah, if somebody jumps in front of you, just run them down, right?
Yes.
Sorry, gentlemen, but Calora, car fall apart.
The armored truck drops to pieces, spilling gold all over the street.
I'm here to help you. Can't you understand that? Big Shot Bonnet is raiding the Treasury building, and he expects you. Now listen to what I say.
Well, why didn't you say so? Sure, go ahead. We are with you.
They just instantly believe him because of all that.
Yeah.
That's kind of funny. Thanks. Now take your car back again. Calora!
The parts of the car begin to assemble again.
Now that must have been some effect. That must have been some artistic effect back then, right?
Just draw a car falling apart, and then you tell people what direction it's really going.
the only thing Big Shot understands is fear, and fear he shall know. There's the armored car. Um, cars. There's the armored car's horn. Get set, boys.
Into the trap rolls the armored car, carrying its golden wealth.
All right, you guys, drop your guns and come out peaceable.
From the truck emerge skeletons.
Do you think you can kill the dead?
That's rich. Line up. Get the gold. Dude is scared.
But not so scared that he's not going to try and get that gold anyway.
Boy, feel the weight of that gold. Sure, gold is heavy. What a haul! We're all millionaires.
Yeah, gold is so heavy that you don't carry a bag that big even with two people. But instead of gold,
gravestone. My gravestone.
The gangsters flee, panic-stricken, when they hear a loud voice call to them.
Who spoke?
What did it say? I did. Aren't ye men ashamed of yourselves, stealing from your country? You gangsters try to terrorize peaceful people. How do you like a taste of it yourself?
I'm going straight. I'm going straight from now on. Imagine that, having a statue of George Washington scare the living bejeebies out of you.
Yep.
That's a new one. RJ, you're the one doing the.
Oh, that's right. I'm going to help you too. I'm taking you to jail myself. In you go. The author of these weird happenings stands across the street. Do you see what I see? I think so.
I have not finished, gentlemen. These beasts must be taught a good lesson. Now, for Big Shot himself.
The last to leave the building is Big Shot. Goodbye, sir. I'm taking your hirelings to jail where they belong.
You can't do that. Bet us out of here, boss. Or get us out of here, boss. Hey, come back. look at that big statue of George Washington just carrying the two thugs off to jail.
Yep.
That's got to be a sight. RJ, let me ask you this. Let's just say for a moment you were on a city street, right? You happen to be on that city street, and you all of a sudden start seeing, a marble statue of George Washington just carrying a couple crooks like that, one in each hand. How do you think you might react to that?
I better see the Ghostbusters coming around the corner real quick.
Okay. I'm going to go off camera for just a quick moment, so why don't you talk to the chat for a moment, just because I got to make another lighting adjustment here. I'll be right back.
Is there a chat? I don't know. If you're chatting, folks, I don't see you. Say something. Let us know you're here. Let us know you're having fun with all this too, because it's what we're here for, is to just find all the silliness that happened in the old comics. As foundational as they are to everything we do, enjoy today.
All right, I had to turn on the light because it was trying to get pretty dim here. All right. So, anyways, let's get back to the story here. Follow me. We must be on hand. I'm sorry. Follow me. We must be on hand to get Big Shot's confession when his nerve cracks.
Under Marvello's influence, Big Shot thinks that his nickel is made of gold.
Gold, a gold nickel. Gee, I can't spend that.
But everything he touches becomes gold.
Oh, does that sound familiar to you?
He gave him that Midas touch.
Uh-huh. A gold turntable, a gold turnstile, and a gold floor. My gosh, I've got to take that along.
Finding a pick, Big Shot begins to dig.
Because they just leave them lying around New York. Because you never know when a 49er is going to show up and need to stake a claim. Leave a pick laying here for him.
Hey, Dope, what's the idea of tearing up the floor?
Hold on.
Oh.
A floor of solid gold. I'll be wealthy. Now
Hey,
go.
Dope, what's the idea of tearing up the floor?
It's gold, a gold floor. Don't you see? We'll both dig. Come on. And you notice he's apparently got the Midas touch, right? And yet that pickaxe isn't turning to gold.
Well, that's because he's not turning things to gold. He's seeing things as though they're gold. Otherwise, the guard would see it, and the guard doesn't.
Good point.
Big Shot looks again and sees only cement.
But it's still yellow. It looks gold to us.
Are you nuts?
It's gone. The gold is gone. This is my rival's work. I'll get him for playing tricks on me. Come on, he's leading us to the other gang leader. Kalora, move faster.
Big Shot moves as with winged feet.
Gee, I'm moving fast. This is better than riding a car.
And leads Marvello to the lair of his rival gangster.
You tried to trick me, eh? Well, get ready. Gonna do the rival gangster there.
It's Big Shot, alone.
Kalora, guns become spongy. Spongy gun. I wonder kind of have to wonder how that feels in the hand, don't you?
It's a sponge gun.
Yeah, a la a Nerf gun, maybe.
Yeah.
Hey, what's the matter with my gun?
And mine.
Did you have anything to do with that gold floor and the statue?
Who, me? I don't know what you're talking about.
I am the author of those little feats of magic. I want you both to confess your misdeeds and go to jail. Will you? Do you hear what I... Oh wait.
Yeah, you got it.
Oh, yeah. Do you hear what I hear?
That's given going over.
And is that it? Is that it? Or did I somehow double hit it?
Yeah,
I think I must have double hit it. Let's go back. Oh yeah, I must have double hit it. That's why we ended up on the bungle page. All right, so now
Big Shot and his rival find themselves unable to manage their proper directions.
I will give you 3 minutes. 1, my legs turning into rubber. Oh boy,
And I'm Malcolm.
that's scary. I kind of remember. I kind of remember reading another story that I won't spoil it now. Other than it's a Captain Marvel story. I read a similar story where something similar to that happened.
He's basically giving these guys a bad acid trip.
Yeah, no kidding.
I melted already. It's your turn.
Oh, you already said it? Oh.
Yeah.
2, and wow, for the last time, and now for the last time.
Big Shot and his rival see their men march off in a chain gang. Don't leave us.
Come back. I'll confess anything and everything, only stop what you're doing to me. I can't stand it.
That goes for me. Double.
Good. I want my friend of this afternoon to be in on this. Well, before I go down to the final panel, again, let me ask this: let's just say you happen to be walking through that city, and you see this. You see one guy looks like he's turning to rubber, another guy looks like he's melting. How do you think you might react to that?
I leave that city.
You'd be like, okay, I don't know if I want to be here. This seems a little crazy, right?
Yeah.
All right.
Marvello, by a projection of his spirit self, seizes his policeman friend and drags him from his bed. But I'm not dressed.
You can dress on the way. I can't wait. Kalora.
You didn't let him bring his clothes.
Well, it looks like he's in his pajamas, though.
Yeah, but now he's in his police uniform. He didn't bring them.
Well, unless he somehow magically dressed him.
Yeah, why didn't you just
say
that?
It just happened off panel.
Yeah.
There they are. Run them in.
Well, I'll be. This breaks up all the gangs in the city. That man's a genius.
You're okay. I think
on 3.
1, 2, 3. You're telling
us. Marvello, Monarch of Magicians, will appear in each and every issue of Big Shot Comics. Reserve your copy now. Marvello will amaze and mystify you by his feats of magic every month in Big Shot Comics.
All right, so let's see. I think we're already up to the 2-hour mark here.
Yeah,
about 1 hour and 58. Shall we try the last 2 stories, or you think we should just go ahead and wrap it?
No, let's wrap it up. I got old man body issues.
Okay. Well, I mean, I said that we're going to try for 6, but I figured we'd probably get 4, maybe 5 in at best. But we still got 4 stories, and they're all.
We did well.
Yeah, I think we. So okay, so before we get to the finishing parts here, the This Day in Each History segment and all that, before we get to that, kind of the final thought section on. So, of the 4 we read 4 features tonight. So, of the 4 features, which one would you say was the one you liked the most? Which one was the one you liked the least? And of course, give you a reason if you don't mind. Give you a reasoning behind it.
Oh, Sky King, Skyman was probably Sky King. Totally different guy.
Uh, Skyman was probably the most fun, the most adventurous. Um, Marvello was a waste of. It was not a waste. It was a page filler kind of story because there was nothing to be resolved. It was basically him putting them through one silly, dumb thing after another until they gave up. But there was, no real. You just wear them down into a confession. Um, that's even worse than the get the secretary to sign a confession thing because she's scared of your face.
Yeah, because I was just thinking that I was sure after the Tom Carey story, the way you went on about that, I thought that one was going to you were going to probably claim was the worst of the or
Well, that one there was at least detective work going on. It was just rendered moot at the end by the fact that the guy was dead, but the district attorney's still collecting evidence. Like, no point.
Yeah, okay,
Hey, buddy.
so overall, rank the story from best to worst in your opinion. And we already kind of got the best and worst, but the top and the bottom.
Skyman would be
the stories for me.
Yeah, Skyman I would rank the best. The district attorney story would probably be second. Marvello was just boring. It was third. I forget who was the fourth. Who was the fourth one we missed?
No, the face.
The face. Yeah, the face. Okay, so Skyman and then the face, and yeah, I think they just kind of went downhill from the beginning. Skyman and the face were good. The district attorney probably tied with the face. In fact, you know what? I'll say Tom Carey was better than the face. And then, so the face would be third, and then definitely Marvello was fourth. Marvello was just, do you give up now? Do you give up now? How about now?
Yeah. Well, I mean, again, after the bit after the Tom Carey story when you kind of went off on that, I almost thought for certain that what you would have probably considered that the worst story, but
no, it just had the worst ending. Nothing happened to Marvello. He just stands over in the corner and says, "What should I do now? Watch how I drive me." He was nothing more than Mr. Mixyez-Pitlick with no confrontation.
He Mr. Mixyez-Pitlick.
Mixyez-Pitlick. Yes. I mean, no one ever said, "Hey, maybe we should do something about that guy." He never turned the corner and had a bag dropped over his head where he couldn't say, his magic word and had to actually get out of something. No, nothing happened to him. He had no pushback at all.
Yeah. So okay. So, yeah. So overall, the entire now we've rated the stories and you told me the best and the one you like the most. Overall, how would you overall grade the show tonight in terms of what we
it was fun. I mean, even if we're reading, even if they were bad stories all along, the fact that we can pick them apart and point at them and make fun is still an enjoyable passing of the time.
Which is it was one of the things I always want to try to do with the show. It would be nice if we had a bit more of an audience to be able to share in on it and do, but I understand with it being Friday night, people are probably going out partying and going out to the bar, all that.
Well, we don't know what the news is. There's, could be big things happening in the news right now.
Yeah, but I hope that I always try to make this kind of a nice respite from the real world and all the garbage going on in it. So, but anyways, so we've got the 2-hour mark here. So we'll start to wrap up here. So we got through 4 stories, so that was good. If you don't mind sticking around for just a couple moments for some post-show stuff after we wrap up here, I'm gonna go ahead and of course start the finishing off part here by today is Friday, August the 2nd, 2024. So let's go ahead and take a look back at this day in each history.
History.
So first up, I'm going to head back 25 years ago. And on this date, 25 years ago, back in 1999, WCW held its Monday Nitro event in Sioux Falls Arena in Sioux Falls, North Dakota, or South Dakota, rather. The main event saw Rick Steiner team with Sid Vicious to defeat Goldberg and Sting by DQ. You also saw Vampiro accompanied by Raven and Insane Clown Posse defeating Eddie Guerrero. Chris Benoit defeated Diamond Dallas Page. Perry Saturn defeated Kurt Hennig by DQ. Dean Malenko and Shane Douglas defeated Hugh Morris and Jerry Flynn. This is kind of at the point when WCW was starting to die down. The show opened up with a non-title tag team match in which Harlem Heat had defeated Bam Bam Bigelow and Canyon. I think Bam Bam and Canyon were the tag champions at the time. So 25 years ago today, Monday Nitro from Sioux Falls, South Carolina. Now moving ahead 1 year to the year 2000, as soon as I grab that. On this date 24 years ago today, in year 2000, the 500th issue of Archie went on sale on this date back in 2000.
So, I own it.
And look at that. 24 years ago, it was still under $2. The comic book was still under $2 as compared.
And it was it was a centennial issue, and it was under $2.
Yeah, 32 pages. The two stories were the Big 500 and Happy Anniversary. All right, so there you go. The 500th issue of Archie went on sale on this date 24 years ago, back in the year 2000. Also, on this date, moving ahead to, as soon as I can find the cursor here, moving ahead to 2014. Let's see. On this date in 2014, the Nickelodeon special, A Fairly Odd Summer, of course, a part of the Fairly Odd Parents franchise, premiered on Nickelodeon on this date back in 2014. Of course, produced by such companies as Billionfold Inc., Fire Durator, or Frederator Studios, and Pacific Bay Entertainment. On this day, Fairly Odd Summer, based on the Fairly Odd Parents TV show, premiered on Nickelodeon on this date 10 years ago. And finally, on this date 5 years ago today, on this date 5 years ago today, on this date 5 years ago today, the 3D CG anime film Dragon Quest Your Story, distributed by Toho and produced by Shirogami and Robot Communications, premiered in Japanese theaters on this date back in 2019. So 5 years ago today, Toho released Dragon Quest Your Story on Netflix. Well, it was released on Netflix in 2020, but released in Japan on this date back in 2019. There we go. So with that, I thank everybody for being here. And before we do head out, RJ, did you want to do any fun? Did you want to do an outro?
Go to criticalblast.com and get your copy of Aristocratic Extraterrestrial Time Traveling Thieves, now collected completely in one giant paperback digest, normal sized, and hardcover, which I don't have a copy to show you.
Yeah. So, anyways, well, with that, your little kitty saying bye-bye. All right. Well, with that, I thank everybody for being here, and I hope to see everybody back here on Sunday. Bye.